Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone, and you're watching the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. 1 hour of commercial-free podcasting starts now. Enjoy the show.
Another wild week in the NFL, all finished up, so it's time to analyze it. We finally have a decent sample size of games, so today we'll be doing some more Calm or Chaos, Trust or Bust, and finishing up with some trade targets, bringing that back, and of course, trivia with Q. And also, we'll be doing a quick game preview of Thursday Night Football at the end, so stay tuned for that. Boys, let's get into some Calm or Chaos. Hop right into it with the Chicago Bears' entire offense.
Oh,
what
scary
was going on? Is it Calm or Chaos for Justin Fields? Only 3.92 points. David Montgomery, the leading scorer on the team with 7.5 points. A-Rob only had 4, and Darnell Mooney had less than 2 at 1.9. Is this Calm or Chaos on all these guys right now?
I think
mostly,
it's chaos.
mostly chaos.
I saw that they averaged 1.1 yard per play, which is the lowest since like they wore leather helmets.
Oh,
That's bad.
I'm staying calm for right now just because they play the Lions this week. If they completely fall apart this week versus the Lions, then I'm really, really scared. But this hopefully would be a nice bounce back game for the Bears offense in general, especially David Montgomery and Allen Robinson. Those are the two that everyone really cares about in the first place. So I'd like to see. Yeah, go ahead.
Quarterback matters, especially because they're said all of them could have a chance of playing. And they've also, I read that they tried out 2 other quarterbacks today. Never heard of them, but yeah, Justin Fields, I don't know how he's alive. He got sacked 9 times.
He lost like 57 yards or something insane
Running
just
for
by
his
getting
life.
sacked.
Yeah, that was just one of the worst offensive performances I've ever seen. Partially, they just looked unprepared, but like partially also Matt Nagy, man.
He
It just
sucks.
seems like he needs to get out of there as soon
And
as
somehow
possible.
he won.
Throwing.
Somehow he won Coach of the Year.
No idea how that happened.
There's only
Yeah.
one man that could fix all of this.
Mitch Trubisky.
Nick Foles.
Yeah, Nick Foles.
Bring him
Foles,
in.
When he comes in as a backup, he is different. We shall see what happens with the Bears. But yeah, I'd probably hold on to Montgomery and Robinson for now. But Trevor Lawrence getting into another quarterback here, 9.46 points, 219 yards, 4 turnovers to only 1 touchdown. Is he droppable at this point?
Yes.
He was droppable last
100%.
week.
He has single-digit fantasy points in the past 2 weeks. I mean, his best game was week 1, and that's a lot of times a rookie quarterback's worst game, and it seems like he's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah, and
I
he has
still think he's good.
5 total touchdowns to 9 turnovers.
Yeah,
That's bad.
And it's not like he has a bad offense around him. Like, he has weapons. So I don't understand, like, what's going on with the Jaguars' offense.
Yeah, it just does not look good. Number one, their offensive line is not that
It's
great.
caca.
Yeah, it's very
Boo-boo
bad.
butt-butt.
So he doesn't have much time to throw, especially as a rookie. It's definitely difficult to adapt. But I think better days are ahead, maybe second half of the season. But yeah, for now, if you need someone on your bench to pick up, if you're looking for Hubbard or someone out there on waivers, you can drop Trevor Lawrence. Moving on to some big name running backs. Let's start with Nick Chubb, only 8.4 points. Did still get his usual workload of 22 carries, but only got 84 yards and did nothing else. Calm or
Bruh,
Chaos here for
Get
Chubb.
this man off the list.
Relax.
Get this dude. Come on.
Yeah.
I do think Kareem Hunt is going to be the reason why he doesn't finish in the top 10.
Oh my God, outside the top 10 Q.
Maybe 11.
Wow.
Maybe.
I mean, that workload is still ridiculous. 22 carries, I believe that was his most all season by like a good margin too. And the Browns were up a lot in this game, so I don't know why he didn't really do much towards the end. But I mean, Nick Chubb will be just fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think Chubb will be just fine. If you told me Nick Chubb's getting 22 carries in a week, I'm 100% starting him every day of the week. So stay calm on Chubb for now. The touchdowns are obviously going to come. Jonathan Taylor, 8.2 points, 10 carries for 64 yards. So actually a really good amount of yards per carry there, but only 1 catch for 8 yards and no touchdowns. This is Calm or Chaos on JT.
As an owner, I'm a little bit worried, but I'm not giving up. Jonathan Taylor's still going to be I think he's still going to be solid, but I am exploring my options, see what I can get.
Yeah.
But I'm still confident in Jonathan Taylor.
Like Sean said, go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say, just like Sean said, that was a good yard per carry he had there compared to the 3.3 that he's averaged the first 2 weeks. So that's a good sign if you want to take anything positive out of that poor performance.
It seemed like they were using the Hines a lot, and it came out that Marlon Mack is looking to be traded, so less competition, I guess. Yeah, he was barely used anyway, it seemed.
Yeah.
But I, as an owner also of Jonathan Taylor and Allen Robinson, I think they're fighting for like the biggest bust so far where you drafted them. But I think I have faith in both of them that they'll be what their value was or is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm staying calm on Jonathan Taylor right now. The only thing that concerns me a little bit is the snap share. Jonathan Taylor's had only above 50% of the snaps once. He had 48 this week and 45 the week before. And I think that's more of game script. They played the Rams. They played the Titans. They played two very good teams. They also played the Seahawks in week 1 where they only had 55. So I think when they're playing worse teams later in the season, when they obviously have Houston coming up, they have the Jets, the Jaguars, there are better days ahead for Jonathan Taylor. But in some of these matchups where they're playing a very solid team and they're going to be down, Nyheim Hines is going to be on the field for about the same amount of time as Jonathan Taylor. So
as long as Carson Wentz is 100% snap share.
Yeah.
That's
as long as he's there, at least for the Eagles. But yeah, stay calm on Jonathan Taylor for now. Miles Sanders, 8.5 points, only 2 carries for 27 yards and 3 catches for 28 yards on 4 targets. Is this calm or chaos for Booby?
Matt, you're the big Booby guy.
It's definitely scary. I mean, 2 carries is horrible, but
it's not his fault.
Nobody had more carries than he did. And 2 was leading the team because we only ran the ball 3 times. So, yeah. I mean, he's still getting a little bit of work in the passing game. That was just god awful by the entire Eagles offense. We really couldn't get anything going forever until garbage time. But I still have all the faith in the world in Booby. Like I said, he's a good receiver out of the backfield. He can carry the ball if you actually allow him to carry the ball. So I'm a little worried right now just based on like the offensive scheme or whatever they got going on. But I see better days for Booby ahead.
Like 2 carries and he had that many yards. Like it's not his fault that it's chaos. He's good when he gets it, but clearly he's never going to get it.
Yeah, I'm staying calm. I think after a week like this, you go right back to the drawing board and say we have to run the ball more. So if I have Miles Sanders, I'm probably rolling him out there again. I think the Chiefs' run defense has been pretty bad this year. So Miles Sanders should be fine. If he struggles again and really is not getting the volume, then it starts to be a concern. But he's pretty efficient with the amount of touches he gets. I still think he's safe in that RB2 range for now. Leonard, Fournette, and Ronald Jones. 6.4 points for Fournette, 1.1 point for Ronald Jones. Fournette had 4 carries for 8 yards, 3 catches for 26, and Ronald Jones had 5 carries for 11 yards. Is this calm or chaos on both? Just one of them? Are we dropping Ronald Jones at this point? What's the move here?
I think that Rojo is starting to enter that droppable territory. I'm a little bit more calm on Fournette only because Gio got a little banged up. So if he's going to miss any time, Fournette could see an uptick in his target share. And Rojo just hasn't been efficient at all this year. And last week he had 0 targets. So he's just like, if he's not running the ball, he's going to be irrelevant.
I just never feel confident with these running backs.
We're literally going to be talking about this every week all year.
Yep.
Let's try and make this week the last week, unless for some they may go off against the Patriots, so we'll see.
Yeah. Until further notice, it's chaos on both of them. I would not start either of them. Unless one of them goes off, they'll be back on trust or bust. But for now, Fournette and Ronald Jones, I guess you can keep on your bench. But if you really desperately are looking to add somebody, I wouldn't be mad if you dropped.
Do us a favor
right
and don't go off so we don't have to talk about you.
Yeah, just stay in irrelevancy. Devin Singletary, 3.6 points, 11 carries for 26 yards, and 1 catch for 0 yards. Calm or chaos on Singy right now?
Go ahead, Matt.
a little bit of chaos. Like, why the hell did Zach Moss have to come back? The past 2 weeks he's been back. I believe he's averaged like 16 fantasy points a game. He's scored in both of the games he's played in. And when that happens, Singy just takes the back burner. And I think that this trend is just going to keep happening throughout the year. It's not a good sign for Singy right now. So, yeah, I'm definitely a little worried as a Singy owner.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards chaos as well. I think this backfield's turning into kind of what it was last year, where it's just like you really don't know who's going to be the guy. It's kind of the hot hand. Singletary actually had pretty much the same amount of work again as he did the first 2 games, but way less efficient, only 26 yards on 11 carries. But the snap share is what concerns me.
Yep.
43% of snaps this week. He had 66 in week 2 and 75 in week 1. And Zach Moss, 28 last week, and now up to 56. He was the majority on the field. So it looks like they want to use Zach Moss a little bit more. He took the back seat this week. I still think it's more of a hot hand approach, though. So keep him on your bench, but I would not start him right now.
No, sir.
Last running back here, Tyson Williams, 2.2 points, 5 carries for 22 yards. That was it. Calm or chaos for Williams.
Chaos.
All that those fab bucks wasted.
It feels
Waste.
bad.
You might as well burn the money. In 2 of the 3 games so far this year, he has single-digit rushing attempts. I don't really see it getting much better, being that Lamar is by far the best rusher they have on that team right now. And like you brought up earlier, Marlon Mack is on the block right now. So, I mean, the Ravens might be a landing spot for him. And if that's the case, that's just 4 heads you got to feed in the backfield, and it's not looking good at all.
Does Le'Veon Bell move back? Did he move up yet?
No.
No. They
So
got
almost
Latavius
5.
Murray, Devonta
Jeez.
Freeman,
Yep,
some
they
chicken nuggets.
Yeah, they kept Murray and Freeman. He's been pretty consistent about the amount of work Williams has been getting, roughly 50% of the snaps, but like the touches weren't all there this week. So if it's going to be a close game like it was this week against Detroit, where they were actually down or they were up for a little bit, but I don't know. Lamar Jackson's the running back on this team. Let's be real.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
I
going to
mean,
be
he
playing
leads the
second fiddle.
team in attempts, yards, and touchdowns.
Yeah. And in this big of a timeshare, I just don't trust Williams to be consistent. He's worth owning, but not starting right now. Chaos.
Way.
And if we can give an honorable mention for some guy who stayed afloat and outside of this, Najee Harris, 14 attempts for 40 yards, but you know what saved him? 19 targets.
Yeah, that's absurd.
14. He led the league in targets this week. So that saved him from being like, I guess you can be ass with volume, which I will keep saying because he's proving otherwise.
Najee Harris might be absolutely amazing this year just because of receiving game work, because Big Ben's arm does not work anymore. You can't throw the ball like Drew Brees couldn't throw the ball. So Najee Harris is going to get fed like Kamara was in the passing game.
The one play he ran forward and threw it right to the other team.
Yeah. I didn't even put him on trust or bust because you're trusting him right now. He's locked in.
And during the game, they called him Skinny Ben or Thin Ben.
Yeah.
Have an ass Ben.
We need Big Ben back.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to some wide receivers. DeAndre Hopkins, 5.1 points, 3 catches for 21 yards on 6 targets. What's going on here? Calm or chaos?
You're
Trust.
calm.
Trust. I'm
Trust,
trusting them.
calm. You're calm. Trust.
Yeah.
You don't really got to go into much explanation.
He was hurt.
Yeah. Playing through the rib injury. I think he'll be fine. Hopefully he can get a little bit healthier for this next game. Stay calm on D-Hop, please. Don't start selling D-Hop. Don't go crazy. Tyler Lockett, though. We kind of talked about it last week on Trust or Bust.
He got hurt.
7.1 points, 4 catches for 31 yards on 4 targets. Is this what we predicted?
Bro, he's going to be here every week.
He's going to be on one or the other.
One or the other.
Hey, he was hurt. I would take 7 points from hurt.
I'm staying calm and I'm trusting him.
Yeah. These weeks are going to come. We already knew that was going to happen. Staying calm. He played most of the game. The 4 targets, 4 catches, 31 yards. It's going to happen. He's going to have these down games. But any given week, he could have 5 catches for 3,000 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's going to blow up. He's boom or bust. It's the bust this week. Boom's coming back soon. Robert Woods, though, what is going on with this Rams offense? It's the Cooper Kupp show. Robert Woods only had 6.8 points, the worst this season, 3 catches for 33 yards on 6 targets and 1 carry for 5 yards. What's going on with Bobby Woods?
I know he's not eating breakfast with Stafford and Kupp.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude, I
I
don't know.
singled about.
I don't know why Woods isn't getting targets. It doesn't make sense to me. Like,
He only has 19 targets compared to Cooper Kupp's 33.
he has 1 game over 33 yards. Robert Woods is better than that. They just don't.
Way better.
Yeah.
Like, Van Jefferson had the same amount of targets this week. Like, Tyler Higbee went off. Like,
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson
touchdown.
got a bomb touchdown. Like,
Stafford's involving them all.
I don't know, but it's chaos. I'm not too sure what's
It's
happening.
chaos.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards chaos as well. I want to stay calm. Like, as much as 19 targets isn't what you expect from Woods, it's still a decent amount. It's roughly a little over 6 a game. So you really like the targets are there. He should be doing a little bit more with them. It's like him and Matt Stafford are not on the same page, and Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford are on the best page ever. So
The same line of the same page.
you think it's got to flip a little bit and regress towards Woods getting some more work, Kupp slowing down a little bit eventually. But for now, Woods is more of a flex right now than the wide receiver 2 you drafted him to be.
Yep.
Julio Jones. AJ Brown goes down with an injury, so we all expected Julio Jones to get some more points. Finished with 7.7 points, 3 catches for 47 yards on only 4 targets. This calm or chaos on Julio?
I think you're calm.
calm.
I think the AJ Brown injury kind of screwed things up for their play calling and whatnot. Tannehill's back. Tannehill is back.
You know what screwed up Julio? His own injury. He got banged up late in the first quarter. And then after that, it only led to him playing like 51% of the offensive snaps.
That'll do it.
Yep.
That'll do, donkey.
Yep. Definitely keep an eye on that injury for Julio Jones. But yeah, if he's fully healthy and ready to go, and AJ Brown may miss time like we saw with week-to-week injury, I think you're staying calm on Julio Jones. You got to roll him out there.
For sure. They were basically splitting targets up until like this point.
Yeah, pretty much. So rock out with Julio Jones. Next one here, Robbie Anderson, 1.8 points, 1 catch for 8 yards on 2 targets. Calm or chaos on Robbie?
Absolute
Get him
chaos.
off your
In a game
team.
with no CMC, he gets 2 targets, 1 reception for 8 yards, dude.
Yep.
His receptions so far this year are 1, 3, and 1.
Yep.
Wide receiver
They
69.
paid him all that money for this.
They gave him 11 targets through 3 games.
Dog water.
Meanwhile, DJ Moore is
Bad.
getting fed.
He has
DJ
31
Moore.
targets.
This is what I kind of expected last year. DJ Moore to
Yeah.
blow up
He did.
and Robbie Anderson to kind of play second fiddle here, boomer bust kind of guy. Yeah, at this point, he's at best a boomer bust flex, and you need that long touchdown. I jokingly said in the preseason with Sam Darnold, he was at his worst in his career, and he had his 2 good years without him.
I was thinking about that.
He's got
earlier,
Sam
Sean.
Darnold back again, and now they're not on the same page.
And they're 3-0 though. That's
They're
crazy.
3-0. They're winning games, but Robbie Anderson is not a part of it right now. So
I mean, almost all of his production came on that 57-yard touchdown in week 1.
yeah,
That's like it. Other
Yeah.
than that, it's been bad. His snap share, snap share went from 81% week 1 down to like 68 in week 3.
yep, it's dropping a little bit. His playing time's decreasing. So it's definitely chaos right now. Robbie Anderson, I don't think he's droppable just yet. Just hold him on your bench for now.
If you want to find any diamond in the rough, they traded Dan Arnold, their tight end. So I don't know who their tight end is now, but
Trimble.
I'm okay. I'm still trusting Robbie over Tommy Trimble.
Yeah.
If that's his name, Tommy.
Yeah. The only person I'd be scared of is obviously Terrace Marshall right behind him. His snap share has been increasing and he's not doing much with it, but someone to keep an eye on. Tight ends, before we get into some trust or bust, calm or chaos on TJ Hawkinson, 3 points, 2 catches for 10 yards on only 2 targets.
You better stay the fuck
You
calm.
better stay calm right now.
Yeah. Stay calm on TJ Hawkinson. As a Hawkinson owner, I'm 100% calm. Just kind of a fluky game.
Good day for the running backs.
Yep.
The Ravens have a pretty good secondary in general, so the only option to shut down was TJ Hawkinson. So he got shut down. He'll get his targets in the future. Stay calm on him. Kyle Pitts, though, 5.5 points, 2 catches for 35 yards on 3 targets. Are we staying calm on the rookie?
Bro, that whole offense is chaos.
Yeah, it's
There's
scary.
no lying about that, dude.
Except for
I was
Cordell
really
Patterson.
high. I was really
except
high
for
on them.
Cordaro. Pitts only has
Ridley's
one
still
game
alright.
so far in double-digit fantasy points.
The only sign of the weird thing is that his targets have decreased in the first 3 games, but his snap share has increased. So as he's playing more, he's getting less targets. I don't know how that makes any sense, but
He is
I would hope he
currently
gets the ball more.
he's currently tied for targets with Mike Davis.
That's bad.
Awkward.
That's very bad.
The next Tony Gonzalez getting the same targets as Mike Davis, same amount.
Yeah, it's chaos, leaning towards chaos for Pitts. You can still roll him out there as your starter, but I think you definitely cannot drop him. I think better days can come as long as this Falcons offense starts to get it together. Noah Fant, last tight end, 3.5 points. T-Gods is happy to see him back on this list. 2 catches for 15 yards on 3 targets. It's calm or chaos for Fant.
I wouldn't say I'm happy. Like, whoever has him, like, whatever. Best of luck to you. But I'm just not a fan. That's all.
Noah
Not a fan
Fart
of Fant.
this week.
I don't want to
Noah
see
Fart.
anybody lose though, because they're starting them.
Yeah. I'm staying calm on Fant though, personally. They played the Jets. They got up big early and they did not have to throw for like the entire game. So stay calm on Fant as well as Sutton. If you were panicking on him too, I think he only had like 8 points for me.
Noah Fart until further notice.
Noah Fart this week. Hopefully Noah Fant next week. All right, let's get into today's sponsor real quick. Thrive Fantasy app for iOS and Android. Thrive Fantasy app is a daily fantasy sports app for player props and sports betting. If you download the Thrive Fantasy app today, use our promo code SUPERFB. That is SUPERFB. You deposit $20 or more, you will receive an instant $50 bonus. So go check out the Thrive Fantasy app today. Download it, use our code, and win some moolah. Moolah, moolah, moolah. Get that bread, stack that cheese.
Okay.
About to make that a song.
Say no more.
It's like, no. All right. Trust or bust. Let's get more positive on the show here. Let's talk about some guys that did really well this week. And if we're going to be trusting them moving forward, starting at the quarterback position, seems like he's going to be a staple until we really decide that we're going to trust him. Should we put him on this list next week if he does good again? Kirk Cousins?
No. We'd be trusting on him.
He shouldn't even be on the list this week.
Yeah, 31.12 points, 3 touchdowns again. He's currently quarterback 5 through 3 games. I think you got to trust Kirk Cousins right now.
8 touchdowns, no turnovers.
None. Zilch.
Juicy.
Nada.
Solid.
Juicy.
Protect that ball, Kirk.
He will be tested this week with Cleveland, but I'm still confident in him.
Yeah, I am definitely still confident in Kirk Cousins. If you waited on quarterback or went the last person to take a quarterback, Kirk Cousins has been your saving grace right now. QB5, keep rolling him out there. Another guy that might not be on this list again in the future, Derek Carr. Are we fully trusting him?
This week.
25.24 points, another 380 plus passing yard game, 2 more touchdowns. He did throw 1 pick, but still a solid game overall. And he's currently quarterback 8 through 3 games.
This man leads the league in passing yards right now.
Airing it out.
3 games.
Now, who are you?
Why not trust him?
Who are you taking rest of the season? Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr?
Kirk.
Probably Kirk, just because of the weapons around him.
Yeah.
I agree.
Sorry.
I am a bigger Carr fan, but I 100% agree.
Yeah. I think both are very viable options right now. They should both be owned in close to 100% of leagues, if not 100% of leagues. Even if you have a solid quarterback, grab them for your bye week, grab them as a backup in case of injury. They're both must owns at this point. And the last one, Sam Darnold again as well. I think he's been on here before. 25.26 points, 23 for 34, 300 yards again. And he did have 2 rushing touchdowns. Are we trusting Sam Darnold?
Y'all really tried to clown me.
I don't trust.
We're 3 weeks in.
Yeah, chill out.
Remember, but through 3 weeks, you want to know a couple of names who he has more passing yards than?
All right, hit me.
No.
Dak, Josh Allen,
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, and Ryan Tannehill.
Well, now let's see what he does without Christian McCaffrey.
Let's see. He did it last week.
Yeah, against Houston though. 2 out of 3
Yeah,
games, very bad
yeah.
opponents. I'm not trusting just yet. If you want to add him to your bench, sure. He could also have another good week this week against Dallas's terrible secondary. So the schedule's been super favorable for him right now, but I'm still not fully in. Oh my God, dude. Actually, I might have to be fully in just looking at a schedule. Dallas, Philly, the Vikings, the Giants, and then the Falcons, and then the Patriots. All terrible secondaries.
That seems pretty trustworthy.
Nah.
The schedule is super easy.
I'll at you next week then, Siegs.
Okay, start him this week. Start him next week. Start
I'm
him
not
if you get
starting
to
him
that.
over Justin Herbert ever.
Why?
Yeah.
He's
Because
good.
he's
dude.
not
Solid.
better than him.
All right.
I think he's worth a bench ad right now. If you're looking to add a quarterback, he's someone to keep an eye on. Getting into some running backs. Trust or bust for Saquon Barkley, 21.4 points, 16 carries for 51 yards. Got that touchdown we've been waiting for, and also got the passing work, 6 catches for 43 yards on 7 targets. Matt, you trusting your guy?
Took him 4th overall. I better be fucking trusting him. But yeah, a little uptick in the workload. Still not the full workload, but he made do with what he could. I mean, he was facing the Falcons, so if he had a bad game this week, it would have been hectic for me and my team. But I'm glad to see him get more involved in the passing game. Like you said, caught 6 out of 7 targets, added a nice 43 yards. Very nice to see him get into the end zone. And he leaped into the end zone, kind of scared me. I was like, yo, chill. But the score is a score.
Yeah. I'm trusting Saquon, obviously. I think you got to keep rolling him out there. We said if he struggled this week, he might be on that bust side, the chaos side, but you got to trust him. He put up points, and the passing game work is definitely a good sign.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
James Robinson, let's go. 25.4 points. We were pounding the drum for him throughout the offseason. He bounces back, 15 carries for 88 yards and a touchdown. And the passing game works back for him again as well.
You see what happens when
6
you
catches
feed
for
J-Rob?
46.
Fred, they just
He
gave him
keeps
the
you in
ball, and they were like,
games.
"Oh, this dude can play football. He's pretty good."
Very
They'll do it
good.
again.
Jesus.
They'll do it
It
again.
only took him 3 weeks to realize it. But yeah, from here on out, I see Carlos Hyde not really being a factor, cutting into James Robinson's workload. They see what they got in him. They see what he can do when they feed him. So I just expect good things from here on out.
Swing him, Matt.
No.
Come on.
You know what the
God.
weirdest thing is? He played the lowest percent of snaps this week that he has all season. 59%.
But they actually got him the ball. That
But they
was
got him the
most
ball.
touches
That's
he
all that
had.
matters.
That's
Get him the
fine.
touches, keep him on the field. As long as he's above 50%, you're obviously happy. So
Yeah.
get James Robinson the ball, get him involved in the offense. Trevor Lawrence, please continue to pass the ball to him. He will make good things happen. Giovanni Bernard, 20.1 fantasy points. He is a little bit
Why
banged
is
up.
he on here?
Definitely worth mentioning, but 9 catches for 51 yards on
Not really.
10 targets. Trust or bust?
I don't want to
Bust.
talk about the Bucks backfield ever
Bust.
Can't
again,
trust a
dude.
third string, especially on the Bucks.
Except we
I
know
might-
we know what we're getting out of him, but I'm not trusting him.
I might add him. I'm obviously not starting him.
Yeah, he's worth an ad, but
I think he's worth an
Putting him-
ad right now, especially if he's going to be healthy. In games where the Bucks are playing a good opponent, he's worth a look. That's really the only thing. Because when Tom Brady's down, he wants Giovanni Bernard on the field. Obviously,
Yep.
I don't think the Bucks are going to be down that often, especially looking at their schedule. So
Yeah.
it's pretty easy. But I think he's worth a look. Worth a look. Couple more running backs here. James Conner, 18.3 points, 11 carries for 43 yards, found the end zone twice, and added 1 catch for 10 yards. Trust or bust here for the Cardinal.
Not trusting.
Bust.
Not trusting.
That
Yeah.
one catch he had this past week was the only target he's seen all year so far.
Yep.
And he's still splitting carries with what's his face? Chase Edmonds.
Yeah. And his snap share has went down every single game also. So not trusting James Conner.
Very
Leaning towards
touchdown
bust.
dependent.
Exactly. Touchdown dependent. If he finds the end zone, good luck. That's all you got. Zach Moss, 18.1 points, 13 carries for 60 yards, and 3 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown. Talked about Singletary being chaotic. Is Zach Moss trustable?
Bro, this
be
is the
trusting him.
beginning of him taking
I-
over.
I'm
I
gonna try
predicted
and work
this.
my magic this week, and I'm gonna try and get him from.
No, I'm
whoever
trying to
else
get him tonight.
I'm trying to
Oh
get
my god.
I'm getting him. It's hard to trust any like backup, but it's like him.
He's
and
not
Chase
going to
Edmonds.
be a backup.
If Chase Edmonds is still considered a backup, but like it's them two that like
He
you
outplayed
gotta have them.
Devin Singletary in like all aspects of the game this past week. He looks so good. Like I said, he has a touchdown in each of the first 2 games he's played this season. I just see things looking very much upward for Zach Moss and the complete opposite for Devin Singletary.
Dang, that's your boy, dude. I know that
I
hurt a little
know.
bit. I know it
It
hurt. I saw it in
did.
your eyes.
I had
Yeah.
to say it, though. I can't
Hurt a
lie to
little
the
bit.
viewers.
Yeah, I'm going to say trust for now, but I still got my eye on this backfield. I still think it could be the hot hand. And if Singletary starts off hot, I could see Zach Moss not getting some work. So I think Zach Moss is the better back of the two, and I do think he has the better chance moving forward. But just keep an eye on it. My eyebrows still a little bit like want to keep watching this one. I forgot we do still have one more running back here, Cordaro Patterson.
Is he
Sometimes I
really a
forget he's
running back, though?
Not really. 16.2 points. Another solid outing for him. 7 carries for 20 yards. The abysmal run game for him continues.
Doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter when he has 6 catches for 82 yards.
Yep. Led
Trust
the team.
Or bust for Patterson here.
What's there not to trust?
Led
Probably
the
the-
team in receiving yards, and he was only behind Ridley in targets and receptions.
He's somehow been their most productive offensive player.
You got to trust him. Coming out of the backfield as a receiver, he is rock solid. He can make people miss in space.
And told Mike Davis goodbye. You lost the
Yeah.
backfield.
Yeah,
Really?
Mike Davis is just going to be the running back, it seems like, moving forward.
Which they'll
Whereas-
probably won't ever need because they'll always beat down.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Davis's snap share is continuing to drop as well as his targets. So nervous about him for sure. But Emmanuel Sanders, moving on to some wide receivers, 26.4 points, 5 catches for 94 yards, and 2 tutties on 6 targets. Trust or bust here for Sandy.
This one's tricky.
I'm not
I'm
trusting.
curious to see what you guys say.
He played
I want to
good.
trust.
He had a great game, but those last 2 games before that, he didn't do great. He had 9 and 6 points.
Yeah.
Like,
But
it's
the
just,
targets are there. That's what I like.
He's averaging
are
7
there.
targets.
but I mean, like,
Yeah, I'm
if
not
I'm
100%
starting
confident
him,
either.
I'm not like super confident. Like, oh, Sandy's about to get me 20. Like,
Right.
it's just not
But
like
the
that.
Bills, the past couple of years, they haven't really been a team just like the Chiefs did. If they go up, I don't really see them running
Yeah.
the ball all that often.
Yeah.
So the opportunity is going to be there, but there is a lot of mouths to feed. Still like Beasley over them.
Heavy nuts.
Even Dawson Knox made an appearance this past week, so maybe they try and get him more involved as well.
You're not worried if you own Diggs just because he had 10 targets himself. Just
Yeah,
seemed to be on
Diggs
the
is fine.
Yeah. Diggs is fine. Emmanuel Sanders, I'm still not trusting yet either. I'm with you guys. But I do think he's worth an ad this week if he's out there on free agents. I think he's worth being on a bench somewhere because he obviously has the targets right now. It's a decent bye week fill and flex at this time. Hunter Renfro, not a name I thought I'd be saying at all, really.
ever.
But 18.7 points, 5 catches for 77 yards, and a touchdown. Trust or bust for Renfro right now.
Bro, this is a low-key trust.
I think I'm trusting. He has been rock solid
So
far.
weird. He only plays
He's-
half the game and still manages to get
Yeah.
an insane amount of targets and decent volume.
He's
Hasn't
this
had a
year-
game less than 10 fantasy points or 5 catches.
Yeah, he might be this year's Cole Beasley.
Or 6 targets.
Mhm.
Yeah. Renfro is, if he's out there on your waivers still, add him. And he's pushing towards that flex territory.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'm still trusting Ruggs just a
Ruggs
little
has
bit
more of the spotlight just
Well, he's
because
got
of
the
the
upside.
the big playability, but Renfro is second on the team behind Waller in targets and I believe receptions.
Renfro is currently in Gators' starting lineup.
Wow.
Over
Wide
DJ
receiver 20
Chark. Over Chark. And I'm not
Wide receiver
mad about
26 on the season.
I'm not mad about that either.
I'm not mad about it either. I think Renfro's the safer play. I think Chark probably still has more upside to score, but right
And
now
the Raiders
Renfro
are
looks
going to
good.
be throwing against the Chargers.
Yep. Exactly. So
Do you think he's in his lineup because he's projected 0.3 more than Shark?
Yeah,
100%.
I think
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
I think so.
no doubt about it. But yeah, leaning towards trust for Renfro for now. Definitely pick him up. Jacoby Myers, 18.4 points, 9 catches for 94 yards on 14 targets. Trust or bust
that
here
target
for
share.
Myers.
I love me some Jacoby Myers.
Yeah,
I'm trusting him.
I'm definitely trusting him the most. You know, I'm not trusting anymore are the tight ends. They're done.
Oh, I don't think we were ever trusting them guys.
Yeah,
But
you really can't trust them right now.
Jacoby Myers right now is leading the team in targets by 11, receptions by 7, and yards by, I believe, more than 50.
And James White going down definitely
Yep.
helps Jacoby.
That's even more target share. Thank you, T-Gods.
You're welcome.
Yep, exactly. So I'm going to keep an eye on is JJ Taylor if they move him into more of a role in the passing game. Or Damian Harris just might end up eating some of that work share.
How about Kendrick Bourne? Kendrick Bourne scored. He looked good.
Didn't.
Why'd you say it like that?
Yeah, why
Don't forget about him.
What about Kendrick Bourne? Kendrick Bourne. Come on, Kendrick Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne did have a good game, but I think Jacoby Myers is still more fantasy relevant right now. So Myers, trust, Kendrick Bourne.
They paid money for
him at
Kendrick
best.
Bourne.
Keep an eye on him, I guess.
21 points. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he had a solid game for sure, but I don't know if I think that's more fluky than Myers. I think Myers,
Yeah, we know.
Volume has
We
been
need
solid.
6 weeks of 20+ points to be considered relevant.
Well, that's only for the guy coming up in a little bit here. But Jaylen Waddle, 17.8 points, but not exactly how you think you'd get that number. You'd think like maybe like 5 for like 60 and like a touchdown or something, but now 12 catches for 58 yards on 13 targets. Trust or bust here for Waddle.
Bro,
I mean,
I can't trust.
I guess you're happy about the targets and the catches, but the yards, like, bro, can you like break a tackle or
He also
do
had
something?
He had a very questionable catch in the end zone that went for a safety. Like, why would you catch that ball?
Why would you throw that ball?
That's true. But why would you catch it?
Might have been the worst play call all of this weekend.
I think Jacoby Brissett brings a big upside to these players.
It does, because he's captain dump off. He's not going to try to extend the play like Tua.
To be honest, I don't think Jacoby Brissett is really a downgrade for this offense in general.
He's not
from Tua right now. Like
I don't think so.
I think it stays the same. Like
Yeah.
I give everybody kind of the same amount of love here. I think Brissett also has a really good deep ball, so like that helps Will Fuller, Devontae Parker, Jaylen Waddle also. So yeah, I think I'm trusting Jaylen Waddle right now as a decent flex option.
Would you rather
Gaseki?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about him.
Would you rather start Renfro or Waddle?
Interesting. I'd probably go Waddle.
Really? I guess just the targets, right? That's why.
It's the targets also, and I think the talent's more. Like I think he can, as much as he didn't do much this game in yards. I think in the first game he showed what he can do with that too.
Why do you think he's more talented, huh?
Because he's a rookie.
He got drafted higher
first round.
Why else?
And he played really well in college.
Yes, John.
Will Fuller's gonna start eating.
Yeah, definitely.
Be on the lookout.
Stay calm on Will Fuller. If you can buy low on him, do it. AJ Green, Q, put him in here for you. 16.2 points, 5 catches for 112 yards. Are you trusting him?
No.
Oh,
I will for a no.
He has made some big improvements. Last year, he finished. He was like 122 ranked in air yards. Right now, he's ranked number 2. So he's getting the deep ball, but is he catching it?
No.
I mean, he's getting quite a bit of looks from Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's playing out of his mind. So outside, but like I said earlier before the podcast, outside of DeAndre Hopkins, you can't really predict who's going to be next in line, even going off of like the previous performance. Like Rondell Moore was hyped up all week and produced a dud. So AJ Green could give people that same impression and then produce a dud.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rondell Moore, just speaking about him, not trustworthy enough yet. He's not getting enough snaps. AJ Green is on the field a lot, but I still don't trust him just yet. I've been burned too many times to fully be back in, especially T-Gods. Brandon Ayuk. It's nice to see him back on this list as the last wide receiver. 14.5 points, 4 catches for 37 yards and a touchdown on 6 targets. Are we trusting Ayuk yet?
Need to see it some more.
I'll trust him. I'm just a big fan. I'm a little bit biased.
I
but
like Ayuk, but I just want to see his production go up a little bit more. And 6 targets is decent, but I'd like to see him get a little bit more target share before I plug him into my starting lineup.
I'm just super confident. That's all. I'm
Maybe
real confident in him.
Maybe if Garoppolo were to target him those 2 times, like that, what's his name?
Debo?
Yeah, Debo had 2 drops in the end zone.
Yeah.
Ayuk would have caught those.
Ayuk catches those.
Ayuk did drop one as well, I believe, in the end zone.
He did.
No.
But
Debo dropped
he
2.
did catch one. He did have a touchdown. Ayuk, nice bounce back performance, and I do think I'm leaning towards trust as well moving forward. The first few games was not playing pretty much. 86% of the snaps this week. You love to see it. He's
First
back
game
on
he
the
wasn't
field.
playing.
First game he had 47% of the snaps, but just did absolutely nothing with it. So, yeah, happy to see Ayuk back out there. Definitely leaning towards trust. Maybe not starting just yet, like Matt. A couple tight ends before we get into some trade targets. Tyler Conklin, not a name I thought I'd be saying anytime soon. 7 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown on 8 targets, 20 points. Trust or bust?
It's a name you're never going to say again.
Yeah, probably not.
I kind of hope you have to say it again, but I'm not trusting.
No, hell no, dude.
Interesting.
No
Yeah, interesting waiver ad at best right now. I think add him to your bench if you're looking for tight end help. That's about it, though. I wouldn't go crazy on Fab on him either.
Those targets are going to Thielen, J-Jeff, and Dow whenever he comes back, and if not, Dow for Madison.
And
Or
KJ
Osborne.
Osborne.
Yeah,
who
and
did not
Osborne.
do much this week, but still was fantasy relevant the first 2 games. Could easily get some more targets. Last one here, Mike Gaseki, Q's guy, had 10 catches for 86 yards on 12 targets for 18.6 points. Are we trusting Gaseki right now?
I think
That's
we're
what you do with that amount of targets.
Yeah, and your trust. I think I'm trusting him with Brissett as quarterback. We saw last year Fitzpatrick was feeding Gaseki. For some reason, Tua just doesn't. So as long as Tua is out, Gaseki could be a good tight end that many were probably about to give up on because he wasn't doing much the first 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you there. And even in the past, Brissett, when he was the starter for the Colts, he also got their tight ends involved a bit as well. So you like to see that for Gaseki. Hopefully this continues trusting a little bit for now. Trade targets, doing some trade targets again. Now that we have a decent sample size, we kind of have a little bit of a vibe on some guys. So we'll do buy low and sell high for each of us. Q, start us off. Who's your buy low? Who's your sell high?
It's my buy low, David Montgomery. I think it's pretty obvious just because this Bears team is a mess as of right now. Justin Fields is, as long as he's the quarterback, I don't know how that's going to affect Montgomery. It could hurt him just because Justin Fields can run the ball. But we saw last year it took him a little bit to pick it back up. Some hope Andy Dalton comes back, but if Andy Dalton's back, I think that'll help. And if Nick Foles is the quarterback, it could also boost up Montgomery later on, give me a pretty good value trade. And my sell high, I had to switch it. But before I say it, I had Mike Williams. Would you consider trading Mike Williams for Keenan Allen?
If I could trade,
get Keenan Allen, yeah.
Yeah, if the Keenan Allen owner is somehow worried and wants Mike Williams over him, sure, I would 100% do it. I still think Keenan Allen is the number one.
But also, I think Mike Williams is like not someone who's going to go far down anytime soon. But Keenan Allen obviously is. He's going to be the safest receiver on that team. He is the safest floor. Mike Williams is just on a different level. But my sell high is James Robinson. He had a good week 3, but just the fact that this team is going to be so up and down. Trevor Lawrence, we don't know what we're going to get out of him. And I don't know if Urban Meyer is going to remember how well James Robinson played in week 3, do it and same in week 4. So
yeah,
the Cardinals also gave up a lot of yards to Dalvin Cook in week 2. And I said that James Robinson would have a good game. But if you have someone like Matt or T guys in your league, this would be the time to fleece them a little bit.
Well, good thing I already got him.
I tried selling high on James Robinson last year, so I can't agree with you there.
And guess who bought? Me.
And guess who won?
Matt.
Me.
Definitely.
Not me.
Not me, though. Did not make the playoffs. Let's not talk about that. Q, you're buying low on David Montgomery. So what are you giving me? What do you want?
Odell.
Hey, we'll talk trades later.
I know, I'm just kidding. All right, you guys, buy low, sell high. What do you got for us?
My buy low is a man that should not be quarterback 15 right now, but he is, and some people may be getting nervous. I'm not sure why, but, some people do. They're a little weird. Dak Prescott. Go get him if you can. I don't know how many people would be trying to get rid of him, but I don't know. Some people see QB 15 and they get a little nervous, but he's played some pretty good defenses so far. He's played the Bucs, the Chargers, and the Eagles. I mean,
for what it's worth.
Yeah, for what it's worth. But he has some very juicy matchups coming. He's got the Panthers, the Giants, the Vikings, the Falcons, the Chiefs, and in the playoffs, depending on when you guys are doing your playoffs. But I'm pretty sure for us, his playoffs would be Washington, the Giants, and then Washington. Washington is ranked 32nd against quarterbacks.
Yeah, Washington has been brutal.
If you want someone to go off in the chip, Dak's probably going to be your guy if you make it. But, yeah, I mean, try and get Dak. Try and go out and get Dak. That's all I'm saying. And my sell high, I'm not sure how high you can sell this, man. But for whatever you can, I would try and sell CEH right now, coming off a nice little 16-point game. Yeah, he rushed for over 50 yards once this year. He's not very great. I had him last year. I took him 8th overall. I regret it. It was the worst experience of my life. It was a headache every single week because you never know what the Chiefs are going to do. Mahomes just be throwing it down the field. You got trick plays with Tyreek or Pringle or whoever running the ball.
You had to start him.
It makes no sense. But yeah, you have to start CEH because he's the running back on the best team in the league. I'm trying to sell CEH with everything that I have right now. Good luck.
Oh, all right. We shall see. Matt, buy low, sell high. What do you got?
I buy low. I'm going to go along the same lines as my man Q did. I'm going to go the other Bear star, and that is Allen Robinson. I mean, it's been a slow start for that entire Bears offense, aside from Montgomery. Week 1, he had a good week. But other than that, it's just been dismal. But A-Rob's coming off a tough matchup against the Browns where Justin Fields was under duress basically all game. He threw the ball 6 times. 6 times. A-Rob is still by far the best receiver on this team. He's still leading the team in targets. And the best bet for the Bears right now is just keep Justin Fields in there, let him build a rapport with his receivers and that offense, and things will look a lot better for this entire offense as a whole.
Best bet might actually be Nick Foles, because when he came in week 3, the first 2 games, 28 and 23 from A-Rob.
But yeah, for A-Rob, it could be better days with Nick Foles just because they kind of have a connection. But
trade for him and then hope that they announce Nick Foles as starter.
I think A-Rob will be fine with any quarterback.
Yeah,
I think
he's done it with trash quarterbacks forever.
Like Bortles, he was a top 5 wide receiver. So,
and my sell high is kind of a tricky one because he's coming off of one of his down weeks, but that is Tyler Lockett. Reasoning, he is still currently wide receiver 3. So if you can go out there, get a nice solid wide receiver 1, who is going to get the target share, get the yards week in, week out, instead of riding this roller coaster all year long, have at it. I am fully for that because, like we've said, Tyler Lockett is just so up and down all throughout the season. You never know what you're going to get. So I would just try and get that headache off my hands and get something a little bit more sturdy.
Now, would you package Tyler Lockett for a package that involved Mike Williams?
Depends what the package is.
Well, who do you think you can get for Tyler Lockett? Wide receiver.
Probably
Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, you
Terry
could get
McLaurin? I would take Terry McLaurin.
I would
easily.
Someone might be trying to get Lockett for DK. I would take that.
Lockett for Cooper?
Amari Cooper?
Yeah.
I'd rather have Cooper.
Yeah, I'd rather have Cooper, but I need Cooper to be healthy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that scares me right now. But yeah, I like that.
All right, Sean, who's your buy low and sell high?
All right. Christian McCaffrey buy low.
Oh, my
I don't know who's really trying to sell Christian McCaffrey right now, but if the guy in your league has CMC and he's 0-3 or 1-2,
Win now mode,
and he really needs to win the next couple of games, and he's not going to have McCaffrey. Obviously, number one, try and get Chubb Hubbard if you can get him on waivers. He's probably out there. But if the guy is trying to look to move Christian McCaffrey to try and salvage some play time here, try and get a win this week, get back to 500 or get closer to a winning record, Christian McCaffrey is my guy to buy low on. I don't really need to explain to you why you would want Christian McCaffrey on your team. But if you're 3-0 right now or 2-1 and you're sitting comfortably, go get Christian McCaffrey if you can do it. Give up a good amount for it, but I still think you could get him for cheaper than you will when he's fully healthy. But my sell high has to be Christian Kirk right now. He's currently wide receiver 15 on the season. He's putting up pretty big numbers in his first 3 games with Kyler Murray. I think his worst game is 9.8 points, so almost double digits in every single game. And I do not see this being a continuing factor. I've fallen for the Christian Kirk trap before. I think last year he had a 4-game stretch where he was like top 10 wide receiver.
Yeah, he was unstoppable.
And then he completely fell off the face of the earth. He only plays about 50% of the snaps. He's pretty much boom or bust. I know Kyler Murray's having a crazy year right now, but I can't see it all being Christian Kirk every single week. So sell high on Christian Kirk. If you can get yourself a solid, consistent flex out there right now, I would 100% do it. Definitely sell high.
Which is just about anyone, because Christian Kirk is not reliable.
Yeah, not reliable at all. So if you can get a live body, do it. All right. Let's get into our Thursday night football preview. Obviously Thursday night football is tomorrow, but we never really get a chance to talk about it on our Friday episode. So let's get right into it. Jaguars at the Bengals. We just talked about them multiple times. Is James Robinson back in the top 15 running backs this week after a solid week 3 performance?
Yeah, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
No.
What?
Would you rank him?
I have been at 18.
You're wild.
Who do you have over him?
Actually, I have him at 15.
I have him at 15 too.
Yep.
I'll let you know on Thursday
Okay.
when I reveal the rest of my rankings.
But yeah, this Bengals defense isn't good at all. And with the uptick in volume that James Robinson saw last week, that is a positive foreshadow for what's to come throughout the season. And what better way to do it than the next week against the Bengals?
Yep. Yeah. You're rocking James Robinson right now. Plug him back into your lineup with confidence. Moving on to the wide receivers for the Jaguars. Have y'all moved DJ Chark ahead of LaVisca as the consistent wide receiver 2 here, and Marvin Jones still the wide receiver 1 for this week?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, I know that
Firing
hurts you,
on
Matt.
all cylinders. It does, but Chenault sucks. I don't even know where he's been.
Yeah, remove
Yeah.
the word consistent away from consistent wide receiver 2. Just that's where I have LaVisca behind Chark. Leave it at that.
Yeah. Marv is by far the best. I have Marv at 27, and then I have Chark down at 41. LaVisca not even on my radar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got Marv as well, pretty high, 29. DJ Chark, 35. So I still think he's in the flex range. He's got that touchdown upside. But yeah, LaVisca Chenault, I got him at 51. So
Jeez.
staying off of LaVisca for now. But the other 2 I think are still worth in that flex range, and Marvin Jones closer to the wide receiver 2. Moving on to the Bengals, because we know we're not even going to talk about Trevor Lawrence. Is this a game where we can finally feel comfortable starting Joe Burrow after 23 points last week against the Steelers?
I don't see why not.
I would take a chance.
Personally, will never feel comfortable starting him, but that's just me. I know a lot of people disagree, but I can't trust them. It's just in my blood.
There is
Yeah.
a chance that this game gets out of hand and it's just put into Joe Mixon's hands. But if you're going to start Joe Burrow semi-confidently any week, it's most likely this week.
Yeah. I'm a little bit. The only thing I'd be nervous about is last week they pretty much owned the Steelers, and he only threw 18 passes. So felt like a Jameis Winston kind of game from week 1. 3 touchdowns, a couple deep shots to Jamar Chase ended up hitting, but only 18 passes for 172 passing yards. So I'm still not confident in Joe Burrow as my starter, but I do think if you want to start him, like Matt said, you can start him this week. Is a big game coming for my boy Joe Mixon Where did you rank him this week against the
Unfortunately-
Jags?
6.
Yeah, Sean's about to have himself a fucking day
Yeah,
with this
I
one.
hated typing that.
I have him at 8.
I got him at 4.
Okay,
Jesus.
relax.
Top 5 this week, easily finishing top 5 this week. I'm 100% confident. Even against I guess it's not as tough, the Steelers defense. He didn't get the most fantasy points, but he still got the most work. He still had 90 yards rushing on 18 carries, a solid 5 yards per carry, 1 catch for 4 yards. You don't like to see that. You want to see this passing game involvement pick up, but obviously you don't expect it when they're up by that many points.
Right.
Against the Jags, I'm confident. He has the second most rushing yards in the league right now. The rushing is going to continue. He'll be fine. Plug him in, baby.
Yes, sir.
Last one here. T. Higgins may not play on such a short week. He did not practice on Tuesday. So where does this bump Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd in your rankings? Did you rank T. Higgins? Do you think he'll play? What do you think?
Jamar Chase is now top 20,
I
number
have him
20.
at 21.
Yeah, 20.
I got him at 20 as well. I did rank T. Higgins just in case he does play. I put him at
Ranked
27.
26.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
And
It'd
then
probably be a
Boyd
little
at
higher
30.
too.
Boyd at 30.
31.
Boyd at 34. So I'm
So
still a
we're
little
all,
bit lower.
we're
on
all
Boyd.
right there.
Yeah. I think they're all like Boyd is at best like a solid flex, but Higgins, wide receiver 2, Jamar Chase, wide receiver 2 with wide receiver 1 upside right now, especially if Higgins is
Yeah,
limited
that-
at all.
Touchdown, fucking. Whatever.
Where does T Gots have Jamar Chase?
Oh, hold on. I have a question.
Okay.
If T.
I got a
Higgins does
question.
not play, do I start Chase over Brandon Cooks?
Oh,
No,
you can never bench Brandon Cooks.
you do not do
All right.
that.
All right. I didn't know if that was too key.
Brandon Cooks was on Matthew Berry's
But
hate list
I
last
just-
week,
look,
and he
like,
regretted it.
I
Sorry,
got
we don't
Brandon
like
Cooks
him.
lower right now. I got him at
Jamar
24.
is wide receiver 9, and he's never touched my starting lineup. I feel bad. He should at least have 1 week there.
I got Jamar Chase at 20, Brandon Cooks at 24. They're for this week right now. I like Jamar Chase's upside, but
The guaranteed volume lies.
I know it
guaranteed
does.
volume with Cooks, number 1. And number 2, Thursday games are always weird. So you can't 100% predict.
Yeah.
I might just want to flex on Gator though.
Yeah.
You might have to.
He has a Jamar Chase jersey, so you may have to.
I might have
That's
to.
funny.
All right, let's get our picks in for this one. We'll probably mention it again on Friday, but just to get them in, I think this one's pretty easy. I'm taking the Bengals.
Bengals.
It might not be as easy as you think.
Yeah, I don't think it's
but
gonna
I'm
be that
taking the Bengals.
I think it's super easy. I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals. I don't trust the Jaguars right now. All right, that is a wrap for that last segment here. Q, let's get into some trivia. What do you got for us today?
So we've got one juicy question because there's a max of 5 points that you can get from this one question. It actually has to do with Thursday night's game.
Okay, all right.
Interesting little story from this game. So this game has a lot of players in it that played in the 2020 national championship game in college. Can you name? There's 5 players that are on each of these rosters, like 5 players total. Some are on Jaguars, some are on Bengals. Can you name for a point each for each player?
Okay, so we get 1 point for each player we can name that was in the
Yeah.
national championship game
Of last year?
of
2020.
2020.
Clemson, I guess I'll
2020.
name the teams. Clemson versus LSU.
Got it. Well, I know
None of
one.
them are like 9 linemen or anything, right?
No, they're all like skill players. Skill players, or I'm not going to say the other position because that's obvious. I should have. Lineman would be pretty interesting. There could be a lineman.
I got the 2 easy ones.
You have to think a little.
A little.
They've all been mentioned. One hasn't been, but
All right, Q.
all.
Scare me with these hints, man.
I have one more. I have one more I got to write
I
down.
still need 2 more. Hold on.
I guess should we before you give answers? Should we give a bonus point if you get all 5?
No, you
No, you
already
got
get
5
5
points.
points. Yeah.
That'd be pretty impressive. I guess if you could split the teams up.
I can't think.
Hold on. I need like a minute for this one.
That's fine. But I am counting.
No way, right? I don't think so.
clock is tick-tocking.
Yo, chill.
I bet the chat has it already.
They probably do. They Googled it.
You're right.
Oh, obviously that one. I can't believe. Almost didn't have that one.
I just need one more name. What name should I write down?
Yeah, I need one more name too, but I don't know who.
Let's all agree on the last name.
Oh, I do know. I got it.
Who is it?
I'm not telling you.
One of them, I actually had no idea that he was on either of these teams, these college teams.
I think I got it. I got it. Lock it in.
So you got it?
Sure, dude. I don't like.
I mean, if you need more time.
No. I.
Oh shit! I might have hit 5 for 5.
I hit
All right,
5 for 5.
I'm gonna
I know
name
I
him
did.
for
I
you.
almost missed. one of
Okay,
the
you're gonna
most
name them.
obvious.
I'll show after just to prove.
Are you guys all ready?
Yeah.
I guess. All right. So the obvious ones: Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence,
Yep.
Jamar Chase,
Got it.
Travis Etienne,
Yep.
Got it.
T. Higgins.
Yep.
I was gonna say that.
5 for 5, baby. Look
I
at
didn't
Why
those
know-
did I
check
write
marks.
Chenault?
I didn't even know T. Higgins was on LSU,
Damn.
or maybe
I didn't
on
know it.
Clemson. I
I
don't
think he
know.
was on Clemson.
Give me
Either
4
way, that's wild.
points.
I got 5, baby.
Here's your proof.
So you guys, what'd you get?
I didn't fucking get what's his face.
Etienne.
No.
Higgins?
Yeah, I didn't get T Higgins.
I
4.
thought you guys were gonna miss ETN. I was like, that's
That's-
sneaky.
well, that's
I-
what I'm
Bro,
saying.
I
that's
didn't
who
know
I
if that
forgot.
counted because he's literally not he's not playing.
Yeah, that's who I forgot. I forgot ETN for a second, and then I remembered.
Well, I
That's
wish
when
you
I
had the
said,
memory
I got it.
of my mother.
Whatever. All right, that is a wrap for the Week 3 recap. We will be back on Friday with our Week 4 preview.
How's it already week 4?
It's Week
Chill.
4. Season's going.
Enjoy it.
We
Just
got an
soak it
extra
all
week
in.
this year, all right?
Ah.
We got the extra week.
Ah,
Relax.
football.
RELAX. But make sure you're following us here on Twitch. If you are here, throw us a sub on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, wherever you get your podcast. If we're not there, let us know and we'll get it there. Also on Twitter at Super FB Podcast or Instagram at Super Fantasy Podcast and TikTok at Super Fantasy Bros. See you guys Friday. Peace.